I decided to do my media analysis over the show Project Runway. First off, I'd say the intended audience is women of all races and all ages all over the world. My reason for believing that is based off of the characters. They consist of a multitude of races and ages in both genders. Therefore, I believe the intended audience would be the same. Next up, I believe there is a connection between the narrative of the show and the commercials. For example, normally my TV is on cartoons all day because of my toddler. Every commercial is advertising a toy. That's because they know kids watch and want everything they see and will tell their parents to buy it. It's quite ingenious. For the commercials that accompany Project Runway, they consist of beauty products and shopping, for everything from food and hotels to apparel and phones. Next, I looked into if the women who appear differ from one another. Absolutely. They are so diverse. We see ages from early 20s to late 40s who are both black and white. However, there are no stereotypical handicapped or mentally incompetent characters. And, per common ideas of beauty, the majority of the characters are what we would consider beautiful. There are only a couple that we would label as average or unattractive. Also, the majority of them are average weight, and there is only one overweight character. They are all aspiring fashion designers who are wives, mothers, daughters, and just straight up hard workers at home. Most of them have average Joe jobs to pay the bills. For example, one works in a deli. But the majority of their life belongs to fashion design, and the men and women have the same end game. They are all fighting to become the next big fashion designer. Then I observed what level of education the men and women seem to hold. Once again, it varies. Some are college educated, and some are self-taught. And of course, they are poor. All of the major characters are struggling artists trying to make it in the fashion world. But they are all equal, and I believe they are portrayed sympathetically. We root for them to succeed. We want to see great work out of everyone. That's the point. If everyone is not putting out their best effort, it's no contest. That's boring. We want a toss-up. Who's gonna win? Then I looked to compare the women in the show to the products being advertised. I'm torn on this one, mostly because there are such differing levels of women included. Some come across as simple and cheap when others appear more hoity-toity and snobbish. To me, this says only half could actually relate to the commercials I saw. And the commercials do vary depending on what you're watching. Next, I asked if there was any evidence that men do the looking and women are there to be looked at. Well, yeah. I mean, there are tall, thin, gorgeous women strutting down a catwalk as everyone judges them. But they're models, and their job is to be looked at. Finally, I wanted to know if this program showed progression in feminism. I'd say the women are portrayed equally to the men because they're all on the same playing field. If only the men were allowed to design and the women were only allowed to sew, then I'd say discrimination was rampant. But that's not the case. Conclusion? Feminism is strong here. Equality for all. Thank you, and have a blessed day.